Hey guys, so I'm a little bit unwell this week. I did some quite intense training. There is a yearly marathon just started last year here in Tanzania, and it's running against the witch doctors. Basically, it's to raise awareness against the witch doctors, albino killings, and the killings of special needs children. So myself and the boys from Angels Gate are all supposed to be running on Sunday. And it's not a huge marathon, there's maybe 1,000 people to something like that. I think we'll be running around about that. And I fancied my chances in the half marathon of placing quite high within the amount of runners. So I intensified my training. And in intensifying my training, I also had to deal with a sick child who had a throat infection. And I was also started to do a new thing in my life, calisthenics. And my body, I think my body was just a bit tired from it all. And then dealing with this sick child, and I woke up in the middle of the night with a horrendous throat 2 nights ago. And then I've had fever and I'm weak and I can't eat properly. And it's Friday today, so I don't even know if I'm going to get to run this marathon, so we'll see what happens anyway. But I wanted to make a video to talk about something that I noticed while I'm ill. You know, no matter what you do, if your physical body is moving into a lower vibratory state, and this is not some new age mumbo jumbo, if your mood is low, and you can affect your mood, you can change your mood, you can eat more lightly, you can exercise to get the endorphins pumping, you can not eat at all, you can indulge in media which is more likely to bring about a positive and constructive thought pattern in your subconscious mind. And when I was sick, I had, for the first time in a long time, a real craving just to watch mindless entertainment. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's needed. But it's about numbing out from the fact that I'm not happy in my body at that present moment in time. That's why I want the mindless entertainment. I'm not happy in my body because I'm sick. But when I'm not sick, I'm so happy in my body that entertainment in the form of just movies, etc., they don't add anything to me, they take away from me. And I think a lot of society have raised their children in a way where, because they are not at peak performance and peak health, the want and the hunger for mindless entertainment is quite common, and they don't even realize that there's a better state of being to be in. And I notice it in myself, and it reminds me of childhood when I perhaps wasn't eating healthy, or I wasn't getting as much exercise as I should be getting as a child perhaps, and so on and so forth. And thus these electronic stimuli seemed like a relief. They seemed like a good distraction from the fact that my body was not at ease with itself. Television and computer games and so on. Not to bash it completely, but now that my body is healthy and I can go for a run and I can build what I want to build in my life and create what I hope to create with God for these children, my life is stimulating enough to not need those things. But when I'm sick, I want them because I want a distraction from my sickness. I want a distraction from the fact I don't feel good in my body. And I think here in Lear, a major problem that we face is that we are under attack, literally under attack. I'm not exaggerating. We are under attack from all avenues of the corporate world. And for you to be a profitable and productive member of that corporate society, your mood needs to be low, your health needs to be low, you need to eat the wrong foods. This is just a simple, absolute fact. You can see it. If you're happy all the time with what you've got, with the present moment, and you don't need to numb out from the present moment, then you wouldn't want to buy alcohol. This is why we take alcohol, because we have had enough of absorbing information. We want a break. Sleep is that break, but some people want a waking break, so they take the alcohol, they numb out. If you didn't want to numb out, if you were satisfied, you wouldn't want to buy it. So the system, the profit of alcohol, relies heavily on people needing to numb out. Mindless media relies heavily on people needing to be distracted from how they perceive their life to be mundane. And some people might say, but my life is mundane. I have to do a job I don't want to do to serve my children. Life is not mundane. Your mind perceives it as mundane after years of programming. This is the truth. When you lose the wonder of life that a child holds in his or her eyes, that's when you're starting to get into trouble, because it does seem to be mundane. But the truth is, even if you're working a 9 till 5 and you're not totally comfortable with that job, and you want to progress to more bigger and better horizons, or you just are happy with that job but you just don't see it as wondrous, you need to reprogram your mind, because ultimately it's about accepting what's happening in the present moment. If you don't accept what's happening in your present moment and you reject it, and you're not grateful for it, even if it's something you're doing or don't want to do, you create suffering inside yourself. Whereas if you're in a job which you find it's okay, it pays my bills, it helps my children, I'm comfortable, I have my friends, family, my hobbies, I can eat well, so on and so forth, and you want to perhaps progress or you want to get a promotion, but you're not totally, it's not your dream job, doesn't mean it has to be to the point where you need to numb out, because it too can be wondrous if you reprogram yourself. To have the wonder in life, to be like a child, as Jesus Christ said, to enter the kingdom of heaven. You know, you have a choice when you walk out your door and you look at a tree. You can say to yourself, there's that tree again. Or you can just blankly ignore it and it's just background noise. It's just a background image. It's nothing. It's just part of your surroundings. Or you can walk out there. Perfect way was put by Roald Dahl. You can walk out there with twinkling eyes, and you can look to the world with twinkling eyes, and you can see the wonder. You can see it. In that saying, he said, those who don't believe in magic never find it. Magic doesn't need to be a trick. It doesn't need to be a dragon or a unicorn or a wizard or a witch or whatever. Magic can be seen in a switch in your perception. As you look at a tree when you walk out your door to go to work on a morning, you can look at that tree with a new set of eyes. Instead of ignoring what it is, you can ask yourself, wow, what is that made of? Look at the way it moves. You can get philosophical about the way by which it's moving. I find trees extremely interesting in as when I see them move in the wind. And it reminds me so much, because I ask that question, is the tree moving or is the wind moving the tree? And the truth is, I open myself up to a new depth of reality when I say neither. It's doing what it does. My mind is moving to perceive which it's doing. Now that might sound too complicated for you, but what that does, it opens you up to a space where you can be totally bedazzled by the world around you. And there's no better feeling than feeling bedazzled and wonder at the world around you. Even if you're driving on, sitting in traffic at the motorway and you see a little bird land, that is enough to lift some of us out of the feeling of mundaneness and out of the feeling of needing to numb out. It's enough to raise our vibration, raise our emotional state, but only if we perceive it with gratitude. And this is what I recognized when I'm sick, is this is a state of being which is not my best vibratory state. I'm not at my best, so I want to numb. I want to watch mindless entertainment and numb myself, because it's easier than sitting in a body that I'm not enjoying my life at the moment because I don't feel very well. And if we are eating the wrong foods and they are reacting in our body for long enough, we don't even realize our body feels not as good as it can. If we are not exercising for long enough, we don't even realize that our state of being is not as high and as good as it can be. And this opens the door for the corporate war to begin, because they can make use of that to make you a profitable consumer. They can sell you the entertainment, they can sell you the bad foods, they can sell you the drugs like the alcohol to numb you out. And all the while, we don't need those things. What we need is our health back. And if we get our health back and we get in that good vibratory state where we're alkaline, oxidized, and eating nice things that are not irritating our digestive system and so on, then we don't need those downers and we don't need those stimulants. And we certainly don't need the distractions and the numbing. It doesn't mean you'll always not need them from time to time. I don't mind sitting watching a movie with the children. It's very enjoyable for me. It's very pleasurable for me. I very much enjoy seeing their eyes because they have such wonder at the special effects and things like this that they're amazed by it. And that wonder is what we need to all try to recapitulate in our lives, to be as children, to change our perception, to perceive things as they are, utterly, beautifully magic. That's what life is. It's wondrous. And your perception, the way you perceive it, the way you're aware of it, can make any situation wonderful. I know, because I've trained myself over the years to do so. Anyway, just wanted to share that. God bless, guys. Bye.
We're a part of something special. We're a part of something special. We're a part of something special. It's a crack in time.